If you hear this and think, I've heard this before, you're probably not crazy. You probably heard it at church on Sunday. And if so, great, listen to it again. If not, well then, great, you're hearing this for the first time. It's called When Even No Faith Is Enough. Matthew's gospel recounts a story of the disciples on the Sea of Galilee when the waves from a windstorm begin swamping the boat. Jesus is asleep, but the terrified disciples wake him, crying, "Lord, save us, we're perishing." And Jesus, who is grumpy because the disciples have just woken him from a nap, says, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" And then Jesus, acting to save these disciples of little faith anyway, even though they have little faith, and even though they woke him from a nap, he calms the storm. Well, Luther Seminary professor Carolyn Lewis preached a beautiful sermon on this text titled, When Little Faith Is Enough. It's a title that pretty much says everything the sermon needs to say. When all we can muster is just a wee little bit of faith, Jesus will still act to save us. But I wonder, and the text from Sunday was from John, the 20th chapter, always the second Sunday in Easter. Always we hear about our friend Thomas, who has no faith. He doubts. What about when all our faith is gone? What about when we've waited and waited for Jesus to show up? We see Jesus showing up to the others. We hear their stories. We wait for Jesus to show up to us, to save us. And as we've waited and waited for Jesus to show up to us, to reveal himself in our lives, life has overwhelmed us and taken us from us the little faith that has remained. What about when we have no faith left? What about when we, like Thomas, stubbornly proclaim, "I will not believe"? Jesus does not wait for Thomas to believe. Jesus does not wait for Thomas to have perfect faith or any faith. When Thomas is out of faith, claiming, "I will not believe," even then, Jesus shows up. Jesus shows up anyway. Not because Thomas believed, not because we believe. Jesus does not wait for our faith to show up first. Jesus shows up. Period. With Jesus, even no faith is enough. Thanks be to God. Amen.